Hey everyone, I am looking at my bangs and thinking, holy smokes, they're long. So I'm going to be getting a little hair trim pretty soon, I think. But the reason that I wanted to jump online or jump on today is I wanted to show you how very simple it is to make some excellent homemade jelly or homemade jam. And today I'm going to make something that I call a Bluerazz Jam. It's based off of a triple berry jam recipe, but I basically have raspberries and blueberries today. And so that's what I'm going to use. So you start off with getting all of your everything together, and you start off with a box of Sure Gel or some kind of fruit pectin. Sure Gel is what we usually use here in my family, and it's just what I'm comfortable with, but there's all different sorts of pectin. And inside the box, there are recipes for jams, jellies, and even freezer jam if you'd like to do where it's preserved in the freezer. But today, like I said, I'm going to use the recipe for a triple berry jam, which is right down here. And it's very straightforward. The one thing I will say is that because I've made this mistake before, you want to be sure that you follow the steps directly. One time I put the sugar in, I think, before I was supposed to, and what we ended up making, and my sister can attest to this, is strawberry syrup. It was very tasty, but that's not what the intent was. It was supposed to set up like jam. So anyway, we're going to start off by following the directions. And the first thing it says that you are to measure the exact amount of prepared fruit or liquid in either a measuring cup or a measuring glass. So what I have, I'm going to set this aside here. I have my Pampered Chef covered 8 cup measuring bowl. And I really like it because it's got the cover to it. I already have the fruit measured, but it hasn't been not pureed, but it hasn't been mashed or mushed. And so what I thought I'd try today, and this is kind of an experiment, so we'll see how this goes. I thought I would use my immersion blender. Now I've had this immersion blender, it's a Cuisinart, and I've had it, can't even tell you how many years I've had this thing, but I never took the original sticker off of it. So it looks like it's new, but it's really simple. All you do is you just push the immersion blender down in and hit the little button so you can kind of hear it zhuzhing up. You could do this in a blender or in a food processor as well, but I don't want to get I don't want to make it super fine like it's pureed. I do want to still have some chunks of fruit. And so, whoop, there it went. Just squirt it a little bit over. So anyway, I'm just doing it just a little bit at a time. And I'll tell you what, I don't know why I've never done this before. So much easier. Normally I use let's see if I have one, a masher, something like this. And it gets a lot of elbow grease going in there. So the next thing I'm going to do is, because this was already 8 cups, it's still an 8 cup measure, and I'm just going to set this aside, get all this good fruit out of here, set it aside, and now I'm going to take my fruit, put it over here. Actually, yes, I'm going to go grab a towel real quick so I can wipe this up, because this is where I'm going to be cooking the jam. Hold on. So anyway, I'm sure it's probably not like best practice to go off camera. However, that's what you do when you're not fully prepared. You think you had everything ready to go and you just didn't. So, cleaned up. Now, I also use Pampered Chef cookware. My sister has sold Pampered Chef off and on for many years, and I love it. So a lot of my, hi Tyler, so a lot of my items in the kitchen are Pampered Chef. But what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take my fruit mixture and I'm going to gently pour it into my pot. And you want to have a good sized stock pot. You don't want to use something small because this will start to bubble and possibly foam up, okay? So that's done. So that's ready to go. The next thing, when again you're reading the directions, the next thing is that you are to make sure that you're measuring the sugar into a separate bowl. So because my stove's not on yet, I'll go ahead and do that. I've got my bowl. Now this particular jam calls for 8 cups of fruit and 7 cups of sugar. Yeah, so if you don't know, jam is very, very sweet. I do have some low sugar versions, and I'll be making some of those in the very near future because I have some figs. I want to try a low sugar fig. I don't know if it'll work or not, but I want to try it. So you measure the 7 cups, and I'll tell you what, if I talk while I'm measuring, I'll lose track. So 2, just kind of shake it off. 3, 4, 5, 6, and here's my last one. Got a little scoop in here because it wasn't quite full there. 7. Okay, so now I'll put my sugar aside. And then the next thing you're supposed to put in is, so it says you measure your sugar into a separate bowl. Then you're going to put in your sugar gel into the fruit, So swap out. Got my fruit right here. I'm going to put my sugar gel in. And again, it's 1 packet, and this is going to end up making 8 cups of jam. So there are 8 lucky people out there that may be getting some Bluerazz Jam from Jana. So you put that in, and then you're going to mix it. And I like this spoon. You're going to mix it all up so to get it so that it's all incorporated. I don't know if you can see that okay. When you turn the heat on, it will also help it to disintegrate. Now, one other thing that is a little trick, and it didn't used to tell you, I don't think, but now it does. If you want your jam to not foam, put just a little pat of butter into your fruit mixture, and then it will help keep the foam down. So I've got my sugar gel into my fruit. I've got my little bit of butter. I've got my sugar all ready to go. This particular recipe does not call for any lemon or lime juice, any kind of ascorbic acid. And so the next thing it says to do is to bring the mixture to a full rolling boil that doesn't stop when you stir it. So I'm turning my stove on. And this is a stove that's got 3 separate, it's got 1 device, but it's got 3 separate rings. So I just put it on the second one so it'll have a good full connection with the surface of the base of the pan. And now I just have to kind of stir it and wait till it heats up. It actually doesn't take that long. Once it starts to heat up, you are going to actually set your kitchen timer for 1 minute, and you're going to cook it for a rolling boil for 1 full minute. All right. Now, because I'm new at this recording thing, I'm going to go ahead and hit pause, and I'm going to cook this. And when it gets into the rolling boil stage, I'm going to turn it back on. I don't know if I'll be able to splice the videos together. I don't know. We'll figure it out somehow. But anyway, so I'm going to be right back.